Hi, this is Rian from Must Be Noob. This lab guide is on how to configure MFA Service Settings in Microsoft Entra ID using Microsoft Entra Admin Center. Settings for app passwords, trusted IPs, verification options, and remember multi-factor authentication for Microsoft Entra MFA can be found in MFA Service Settings. Access Microsoft Entra Admin Center as a global administrator. Click on Go to ID Protection. Click on Show More and then select Multi-Factor Authentication. On the Getting Started page, under Configure, select Additional Cloud-Based Multi-Factor Authentication Settings. In the New Browser page, you can see the MFA options for Microsoft Entra ID users and service settings. When a user account is enforced with multi-factor authentication, the regular sign-in prompt is interrupted by a request for additional verification. Some older applications don't understand this break in the sign-in process, so authentication fails. To maintain user account security and leave multi-factor authentication enforced, app passwords can be used instead of the user's regular username and password. When an app password used during sign-in, there is no additional verification prompt, so authentication is successful. App passwords do not work with conditional access-based multi-factor authentication policies and modern authentication. Select Do not allow users to create app passwords to sign in to non-browser apps option. The Trusted IPs feature for multi-factor authentication bypasses multi-factor authentication prompts for users who sign in from a defined IP address range. You can set trusted IP ranges for your on-premises environments. When users are in from one of these locations, there is no multi-factor authentication prompt for users. The Trusted IPs feature requires Microsoft Entra ID P1 license. When your user enroll their account for Azure multi-factor authentication, they choose their preferred verification method from the options that you have enabled. Under verification options, select or unselect the methods to provide to your users for multi-factor authentication options. The Remember Multi-Factor Authentication feature sets a persistent cookie on the browser when a user selects the Don't Ask Again for X days option at a sign-in. The user isn't prompted again for multi-factor authentication from that same browser until the cookies expire. If the user opens a different web browser on the same device or clear their cookies, they are prompted again for verification. Select the Allow Users to Remember Multi-Factor Authentication on Devices They Trust option. Set the number of days to allow trusted devices to bypass two-step verification. I'll set the number of days user can trust a device for 14 days. Once you modify all the settings as per your organization's requirement, select Save to save the changes. The update operation completed successfully. Click on Close. So this is how you can configure MFA service settings in Microsoft Entra ID. In this lab guide, you learn how to configure MFA service settings in Microsoft Entra ID using Microsoft Entra Admin Center. That's all for this lab guide. Stay tuned for more videos like this. See you all in the next lab guide.